This audiobook unveils the invincibility frequency, a forgotten state where striving ends and power begins. As you listen, you'll learn how mastering your inner frequency makes you calm, certain, and unshakable. From this vibration, life has no choice but to align with you. The invincibility frequency. Introduction. In the eternal rhythm of creation, you are not merely a witness to life, you are a living note within it. Every thought you entertain and every feeling you nurture sends a vibration into the unseen realms, shaping the substance of your experience. The universe listens not to spoken desire, but to the silent signal of your inner state. This knowledge, guarded by mystics and visionaries, has endured across ages as a sacred law of becoming. The invincibility frequency is born when you cease struggling against life and instead stand rooted in calm certainty. It arises in the meeting place of unwavering faith and gentle surrender, where effort dissolves into trust. In this state, your being becomes finely tuned, and reality responds as a faithful mirror to your harmony. You enter this frequency the moment you release doubt, urgency, and the habit of forcing outcomes. When you remember your unity with the source of all things, longing softens into knowing. You no longer pursue desire. Desire recognizes you. Like tides answering the moon, what you seek moves toward you without resistance. Every inner movement carries a tone. Gratitude refines your signal. Joy clarifies it. Peace stabilizes it. Fear, impatience, and resistance distort the current and scatter your creative force. The art is not to silence the mind, but to anchor yourself in stillness even as thoughts pass. True mastery is remembrance. The invincibility frequency is not earned through discipline alone. It is reclaimed through awareness. It is the natural state you return to when you stop identifying with chaos and rest in inner authority. Understand this power is sacred. The vibration you sustain influences not only your personal path, but the field of consciousness you share with life. Hold this frequency with reverence, compassion, and clarity, for what you radiate returns magnified. Before we get into the book, comment "I am ready" to affirm your intention to the universe. Part 1. The Awakening of Vibration. Chapter 1. The Secret Tone Within. In a small village nestled among ancient hills, there lived a woman named Millie who discovered an ornate music box in her grandmother's attic. As she opened its dusty lid, something extraordinary occurred. The melody that emerged seemed to shift with her emotions. When her heart felt light, the notes rang pure and crystalline. In moments of worry, the same tune became discordant and strained. At first, Millie thought the mechanism was simply broken. Yet as days passed, she began to notice a pattern. The music box responded not to external touch, but to the quality of her thoughts. This revelation opened her eyes to a fundamental truth. Your inner state creates a resonance that shapes the world around you. Just as Millie's thoughts conducted the music box's melody, your thoughts and feelings orchestrate the frequency you emit into the universe. Each intention, each emotional note, contributes to the symphony of your magnetic field. When your inner dialogue flows with clarity and faith, you broadcast a frequency that attracts harmonious circumstances. When cluttered with doubt or fear, your signal becomes distorted, creating interference in the manifestation of your desires. This truth found another witness in Fulton, whose beloved dog had wandered away during a storm. For 3 days he searched frantically, his mind racing with worried thoughts. But it was only when he finally sat in his garden, releasing his desperate need and finding a moment of perfect calm, that his dog appeared at the gate, as if called by an invisible signal. These stories reveal the same timeless principle. The universe responds not to the intensity of your wanting, but to the clarity of your frequency. Like a radio seeking a clear channel, your desires align most powerfully with reality when your inner station broadcasts from a place of peaceful certainty rather than anxious longing. The ancient practice of frequency. Alignment. Find a quiet space and allow your body to soften, releasing any tension you carry. Bring to mind one heartfelt wish, but rather than grasping at it, imagine it as music, a gentle melody floating outward from your being. Let this tune carry your intention while you remain in perfect peace, neither pushing nor pulling. Hold this serene resonance for 1 full minute, feeling your desire harmonize with the universal flow. In this state of calm allowance, you become a clear channel through which your manifestations can naturally emerge. Chapter 2. Releasing Static. Your thoughts create vibrations that ripple through the fabric of existence. As you explore this truth, witness how resistance patterns manifest in the physical world through the tale of Clara, whose morning began with a seemingly small mishap. In her pristine office, Clara clutched her morning coffee while reviewing crucial documents for an upcoming presentation. The moment her mind wandered to thoughts of potential failure, her hand trembled and dark liquid cascaded across the white pages. Her immediate reaction, anger, frustration, desperate attempts to salvage the stained papers, only caused more spillage, more chaos. The harder Clara tried to control the situation, the worse it became. Each frantic dab with tissues spread the coffee further, and her mounting anxiety caused her to knock over more items from her desk. In her resistance to what had already occurred, she created a spiral of escalating mishaps. This moment exemplifies a universal principle. What you resist persists. The energy of fear, control, and resentment generates a static field around you, disrupting the natural flow of solutions. When you fight against what is, you amplify the very frequency of discord you wish to avoid. Consider now the wisdom revealed through Otis, an elderly radio enthusiast. One evening, as he prepared to listen to his favorite program, his beloved radio produced nothing but static. The more he adjusted the dial with worried hands, the worse the interference grew. After countless frustrated attempts, Otis suddenly saw the humor in his mounting desperation. He laughed at himself, stepped back, and surrendered to the moment. In that instant of release, as his frequency shifted from anxiety to acceptance, the radio's static cleared. The signal found its way home, not through force, but through the absence of resistance. These stories unveil a profound truth. The universe responds not to your actions alone, but to your energetic state. When you release the grip of control, when you cease fighting against what is, space opens for divine orchestration. Your natural state is one of clear reception. It is only resistance that creates the static between you and your desires. The source of your power lies not in forcing outcomes, but in maintaining inner harmony, regardless of external circumstances. Each moment offers a choice: to add to the static through resistance, or to clear the channel through acceptance. Ancient practice, the sunlight of forgiveness. Find a quiet space and close your eyes. Envision golden sunlight streaming down upon you. With each breath, allow this light to dissolve layers of resistance within your being. Picture this radiance gently washing away frustration, fear, and the need to control. Feel your energy field becoming clearer, lighter, more receptive. Let this cleansing light continue until you sense your heart beginning to hum with its natural peaceful tone. Rest in this state of clear reception for several minutes, knowing that in this space of surrender, solutions flow effortlessly. Chapter 3. The Mirror of Emotion. Among the whispering pines stood a small cottage where Nell lived, a silver bracelet her most cherished possession. This delicate band, woven with intricate patterns, represented the unbreakable bond with her dearest friend. One autumn morning, Nell discovered the bracelet missing from her wrist. Immediately, harsh words flooded her mind. "How careless! You always lose everything important." With each self-accusation, her day darkened. Her coffee turned bitter. Letters arrived bearing unwelcome news, and even the sunlight seemed to dim. Every criticism she directed inward manifested as another small misfortune in her outer world. Then, in a moment of stillness, Nell noticed the pattern. Each thought of blame preceded another disappointment, as if reality itself echoed her inner dialogue. This realization sparked an ancient truth. Your emotions do not merely react to life, they create it. The universe operates as an infinite mirror, reflecting with perfect precision the frequency you emit. Your feeling tone shapes the substance of reality more powerfully than any action. When you understand this law, you grasp the key to transformation. Tend first to your inner garden, and the outer landscape will bloom in harmony. This wisdom found further expression through Virgil, whose garden taught him the same principle. Each morning, he would walk among his flowers, and the garden responded to his mood with supernatural sensitivity. On days when joy filled his heart, the blooms would open wider, colors would intensify, and even the air would seem to shimmer with vitality. But when he approached with indifference or worry, the same flowers would appear lackluster, their petals slightly closed, their vigor diminished. At first, Virgil dismissed these changes as tricks of perception. Yet as he observed more carefully, the truth became undeniable. His garden literally transformed according to his emotional state. The plants weren't simply responding to his care, they were reflecting his consciousness. These tales illuminate the foundation of manifestation. Matter follows mood. Your emotional frequency acts as the template for physical reality. When you maintain stable joy, gratitude, or peace, you create a resonant field that attracts corresponding experiences. This is not magical thinking, but natural law, the law of sympathetic vibration operating at the subtle level of creation. The Golden Mirror Practice. Find a comfortable position and allow your breath to settle naturally. Let a gentle smile touch your lips, not forced, but as if recognizing an old friend. Now recall a moment that filled you with pure gratitude. It might be as simple as a kind word received or a beautiful sunset witnessed. Let this feeling of appreciation expand in your chest, growing warmer and fuller with each breath. As this sensation builds, imagine a golden light emanating from your heart, forming a luminous sphere around you. This is your mirror of manifestation, reflecting your inner state into the world. Rest in this radiant field for several minutes, knowing that as you hold this frequency of gratitude, you calibrate reality to match its vibration. Chapter 4. The Soft Art of Surrender. Long ago, in a bustling market town, Betty sat at her desk surrounded by carefully drawn maps of her future. Each morning she would unfold these precious papers, marking off tasks and timelines with meticulous precision. Her dreams were not simple wishes but elaborate blueprints, each goal dissected into countless steps. Yet despite her devoted planning, life remained stubbornly still, like a painting rather than a journey. The universe speaks through paradox, and herein lies a truth as old as time itself. What you clutch too tightly slips through your fingers like water. Your desires are living things, seeds that require both nurturing and space to flourish. When you attempt to control every detail of their growth, you unknowingly construct a cage that contains their potential. To manifest is not to force, but to flow. Think of how a flower blooms. It doesn't strain or struggle, but unfolds in perfect timing with the rhythms of nature. Your dreams seek to blossom in the same way. They require your love and attention, yes, but also your trust in their natural evolution. Consider Wesley, a merchant who carried an unspoken truth in his heart for years. He composed a letter expressing his deepest feelings, but never intended to share it. One day, in a moment of pure surrender, he released the letter to the winds. Within days, a chain of extraordinary events unfolded: chance meetings, unexpected conversations, and synchronized moments that brought about the very connection he had longed for, but in ways his mind could never have orchestrated. This is the paradox of conscious creation. The more you release your grip on the form of your desires, the more magnificently they can manifest. Your role is not to micromanage the universe, but to partner with it in sacred dance. When you surrender your need to control every detail, you open yourself to possibilities far grander than your mind could conceive. The practice. Find a quiet moment and settle into a comfortable position. Take 3 deep breaths, allowing each exhale to carry away tension from your body. Now bring to mind your deepest desire. Instead of planning its arrival, simply whisper to it, "I trust you completely. I trust the timing and way you will come to me." Feel the weight lift from your shoulders as you release control. Sense the universe receiving your trust like an inhale receives an exhale. Rest in this space of loving surrender for several minutes, knowing that what is meant for you is already in motion. Chapter 5. The Gravity of Gratitude. Imagine your desires as butterflies. The harder you grasp, the more their wings are damaged. Yet when you open your palms with trust, they naturally land beside you. This ancient wisdom reveals itself through those who have learned to dance with life rather than wrestle it. In a quiet neighborhood on the edge of town, June sat at her desk one morning, holding a letter that would change everything. Her position of 15 years was being eliminated. For a moment, her chest tightened with fear, but then something extraordinary happened. Instead of resistance, she felt a wave of gratitude wash over her. "Thank you," she whispered to the universe, "for clearing my path to something new. This is not mere positive thinking. It is the activation of an eternal law. When you offer thanks in moments of apparent loss, you transmute the energy of lack into pure potential." June didn't know what lay ahead, but she understood that appreciation creates an electromagnetic field that attracts corresponding circumstances. Within 7 days, A colleague mentioned a role that seemed crafted for her unique gifts, one that offered greater freedom and creativity than she'd ever known. The position appeared not despite her loss, but because she had created space through gratitude. This magnetic principle finds echo in the tale of Harold, an artist who lived simply in a small cottage by the sea. Each evening, he would set up his easel on the shore and paint the sunset, selling his work for modest sums. Yet Harold's heart overflowed with appreciation for every brushstroke, every color that graced his canvas. Though his income remained humble, abundance poured into his life in countless forms. Friends brought food for impromptu feasts. His health glowed with vitality. Opportunities to share his art arose naturally. Harold's gratitude had tuned his frequency to receive life's gifts in all their forms. The law of attraction responds not to the size of your bank account, but to the magnitude of your appreciation. Every thank you uttered with sincerity expands your energetic field geometrically, creating a vortex of attraction that draws matching experiences into your reality. Ancient practice of magnetic gratitude. Find a quiet moment and settle into stillness. Choose one ordinary detail in your present moment, perhaps the warmth of sunlight on your skin or the sound of distant birds. Whisper thank you for this simple gift. As you do, visualize this gratitude as a warm golden light in your heart. Watch this light expand with each breath until it fills your entire being. Let it grow beyond your body, illuminating your inner sky completely. Remain in this glow for several minutes, feeling how appreciation transforms your energy field into a magnetic force for greater good. Chapter 6. The Still Current. In the depths of an ancient mountain temple, a master once taught that the strongest current flows beneath the stillest surface. This wisdom echoes through time, waiting to be rediscovered by those who learn to pause amidst life's endless motion. You may recognize yourself in Pearl, whose energy sparked like lightning across every endeavor. From dawn until dusk, she pursued her aspirations with relentless determination. Each goal achieved merely unveiled another mountain to climb, until exhaustion crept into her bones and dimmed her once brilliant light. Within you lies this same dynamo of creative force. Yet the universe whispers a counterintuitive truth. Power does not emerge from perpetual motion, but from the spaces between actions. Just as music relies on the silence between notes, manifestation flourishes in moments of pure being. Pearl's transformation began when illness forced her to rest. Initially, her mind raced with anxiety about lost time and opportunities. But as days passed, she noticed something extraordinary. The less she struggled, the more naturally things aligned. Her racing thoughts gradually settled like leaves after a storm, revealing a deeper current of knowing beneath. This reveals the first principle of energetic mastery. Stillness itself vibrates at the highest frequency. When you cease the constant doing, you attune to the universe's own rhythm. Your desires no longer need force behind them. They simply ripple outward from your center of calm. Consider Francis, who spent hours by the flowing river. As he watched the water wind effortlessly through the landscape, nature unveiled its secret. The river never pushed or strained, yet it carved mountains and nourished valleys. Its power lay not in force, but in steady presence, in perfect alignment with its own nature. You too are a channel for this effortless power. When mental static subsides, your natural frequency emerges, the one that has always known the path to your highest good. This is why masters throughout time have prescribed meditation not as escape, but as the most practical tool for manifestation. Ancient practice, the river of being. Find a quiet space and settle into a comfortable position. Close your eyes and breathe deeply, allowing your body to soften. Imagine yourself as a gently flowing river, steady, unhurried, yet incredibly powerful. Feel how this calm current naturally moves everything toward fulfillment without pushing or straining. Stay with this visualization for several minutes, knowing that in your stillness, the entire universe conspires to bring your desires to fruition. Chapter 7. The Language Before Words. In quiet reflection, Dottie sat at her desk each morning, dutifully reciting the affirmations she had carefully written. I am successful. I am worthy. Abundance flows to me. Yet with each repetition, a hollow echo seemed to mock her efforts. The words felt foreign on her tongue, like borrowed clothes that didn't quite fit. One dawn, as sunlight painted her walls in gentle gold, Dottie abandoned her usual script. Instead of speaking, she closed her eyes and allowed herself to simply feel. In that moment of surrender, something shifted. The warmth of gratitude for her morning coffee, the genuine joy of birds singing outside her window, the authentic appreciation for her comfortable chair. These natural feelings radiated from her being without any effort to manufacture them. The universe responds not to the words we speak, but to the resonance we embody. When you align your inner state with your desires, no declaration is needed. The field around you becomes a pure broadcast of your truth. Consider Emmett, whose classroom transformed not through lengthy speeches or elaborate techniques, but through his unwavering presence. Students who entered restless and scattered would gradually settle into focused calm, their energy unconsciously matching his steady frequency. He rarely spoke of discipline or attention, yet his classes maintained a natural order. His secret lay not in what he said, but in who he was, centered, authentic, and genuinely invested in each moment. The power of stillness reveals itself in these quiet demonstrations. Your true frequency emerges not from rehearsed declarations, but from genuine alignment with your inner truth. When you release the need to convince yourself or others, your natural state becomes your most potent transmission. The ancient practice of authentic resonance. Find a comfortable position and close your eyes. Rather than reciting prepared statements, allow yourself to settle into pure feeling. Notice the natural warmth in your chest. This is your authentic signal. Let it expand without forcing or directing it. Rather than reaching for clever phrases, rest in simple honesty. Feel how your genuine state broadcasts itself effortlessly into the universe. Maintain this connection for several minutes, allowing your true frequency to emerge and radiate naturally. Chapter 8. The Magnet of Belief. Long before spoken language emerged, the universe understood a deeper form of communication, the silent language of vibration. When you align your inner state with what you wish to create, words become secondary to the resonance you emit. High in the mountains, Sadie stood frozen at the edge of a narrow path. For years, heights had been her constant tormentor. But in this moment, she remembered an ancient teaching. The future already exists in the realm of possibility. Rather than fighting her fear, she closed her eyes and allowed herself to feel the reality where she had already completed her journey safely. In her mind's eye, she saw herself sitting peacefully at the summit, breathing in the crisp mountain air. As this feeling of accomplishment and safety permeated her being, her body began to relax. Step by step, she moved forward, her assumed success becoming her guide. The quantum field responds instantaneously to your deepest assumptions. Like an infinite mirror, it reflects back precisely what you believe to be true. Your beliefs are not merely thoughts, they are the very scaffolding upon which your reality is built. When you alter a belief, you reconfigure the energetic architecture of your existence. Vernon, an artist who had struggled for recognition, discovered this truth through an unexpected experiment. Instead of doubting his worth, he began assuming that his art naturally drew admiration. He didn't force this belief or try to convince himself. He simply allowed it to settle into his bones as a quiet knowing. Within weeks, strangers began stopping at his street exhibitions, offering genuine praise and purchasing his works. The shift occurred not because his art had changed, but because his assumption had altered the frequency he emitted into the universe. Your beliefs are not fixed stars, but flowing rivers. They can be redirected with gentle persistence. Each assumption you hold sends ripples through the quantum field, instructing it in the language it understands best, the language of certainty. When you assume something to be true, you tune your entire being to that frequency, and the universe responds in kind. The ancient practice of belief recalibration. Find a quiet moment and settle into a comfortable position. Bring to mind one limiting assumption that has shaped your experience, perhaps about your capabilities, your worth, or what's possible for you. Now, with gentle awareness, imagine believing the opposite. Don't force this new belief or try to convince yourself. Simply hold it as a soft possibility. Feel how your body responds as you allow this new assumption to float in your consciousness. Practice this until you sense your system relaxing into agreement with this expanded vision of what's possible. The quantum field will recognize this shift and begin weaving a new pattern in response to your realigned beliefs. Chapter 9. The Law of Correspondence. Like ripples in a pond, your innermost thoughts create waves that echo through the fabric of reality. This truth became apparent to Lula as she navigated the bustling marketplace. Day after day, she noticed a peculiar pattern. Strangers would approach her, sharing tales of misfortune that mirrored her own internal complaints. If she silently bemoaned the weather, a merchant would soon comment on the dreary day. When she dwelled on financial worries, conversations about money troubles seemed to follow her like shadows. The universe speaks to you through reflections. Your inner dialogue serves as a tuning fork, setting the frequency that reality must match. Every thought you harbor becomes a magnetic force, drawing circumstances that resonate with its particular vibration. This is not mere coincidence, but the operation of an immutable universal law. Through this mirror of creation, you witness your own energy made manifest. When Lula began to understand this principle, she observed her experience with new awareness. The world was not happening to her. It was responding to her. As she shifted her internal narrative, the reflections shifted in kind. Consider the tale of Jasper, a humble gardener, who tended to his flowers with unwavering kindness. One morning, he shared his freshly picked tomatoes with a neighbor. By sunset, 3 different strangers had offered him unexpected gifts. The next day, a lost cat found shelter in his garden, and children began leaving painted stones by his gate. Without seeking recognition, his simple acts of kindness multiplied, returning to him in ways he could never have orchestrated. The frequency you emit becomes the script from which the world reads. When Jasper radiated genuine warmth, the universe orchestrated a symphony of matching experiences. His story reveals that changing your inner tone transforms the entire play of life. You need not manipulate external circumstances. You need only adjust your internal broadcast. Sacred practice, the mirror of consciousness. Find a quiet moment and observe one pattern that repeatedly appears in your life. It might be a type of interaction, a recurring challenge, or a consistent response from others. Rather than judging this pattern, bless it as your faithful messenger. Now, turn inward and locate the thought or feeling that has been creating this reflection. With gentle awareness, rewrite this inner script, knowing that as you alter your broadcast, reality must adjust its response. Hold this new frequency with patient trust, allowing the mirror of life to shift naturally to match your transformed signal. Chapter 10. The Joy Equation. In the depths of an ancient wisdom lies a truth so simple yet transformative. Joy magnetizes miracles. This revelation unfolds through the tale of Marjorie, who discovered the hidden power of playfulness in life's mundane moments. Each morning, as Marjorie tended to her household tasks, she began infusing them with small games. While folding laundry, she challenged herself to match socks with her eyes closed. As she watered her garden, she hummed melodies to each plant, giving them whimsical names. During dishwashing, she imagined conducting an orchestra with soap bubbles as her musicians. What began as a simple shift in approach soon yielded extraordinary results. The universe, ever responsive to frequency, began orchestrating delightful coincidences. The very items she needed would appear precisely when required. Phone calls arrived at perfect moments. Solutions emerged effortlessly for problems that once seemed insurmountable. This is the essence of vibrational mastery, the understanding that joy serves as the supreme conductor of manifestation. When you approach life with lightness, the universe mirrors this energy, transforming obstacles into opportunities. Your playful spirit becomes a magnetic force, drawing forth experiences that match its buoyant frequency. This truth found another witness in Clyde, a craftsman whose work had grown stale with seriousness. His creations, once celebrated for their unique character, had become rigid and uninspired. One day, while crafting a piece, he recalled the pleasure that first drew him to his art. He began whistling as he worked, adding playful flourishes to his designs and letting spontaneity guide his hands. As laughter returned to his workshop, so did his success. Customers praised the renewed vitality in his pieces. Orders multiplied. His craft flowed with an ease he hadn't experienced in years. The simple act of restoring joy to his work had unleashed a torrent of creative energy and abundance. Your frequency creates your reality. When you choose joy, you align with the natural flow of creation. Life responds not to your actions alone, but to the energy underlying them. A task approached with delight carries a different charge than one executed with dull obligation. The universe speaks the language of vibration, and joy is its highest dialect. Through play, you dissolve resistance and open channels for grace to flow. Your light-hearted approach becomes an invitation for life to dance with you, rather than against you. ancient practice of joy. Cultivation. Find a quiet moment and settle into a comfortable position. Allow a gentle smile to form naturally on your face, as though remembering something amusing. Feel this lightness begin as a tiny spark in your heart, gradually expanding outward. Let it bubble up through your chest, shoulders, and face until your entire being resonates with quiet delight. Hold this sensation of playful readiness, knowing the universe recognizes your signal and begins arranging new possibilities in response. This is your silent declaration of willingness to embrace life's magic once again. Part 2. The Architecture of Magnetism. Chapter 11. The Pulse of Imagination. As you align with the frequency of joy, the universe responds with an orchestration of synchronicities that feel like magic yet arise from natural law. In the quiet corners of everyday life, Effie discovered this truth through her paintbrush. Within her modest apartment, Effie spent hours painting doorways, not just any doorways, but passages filled with light and possibility. Each stroke carried her dreams of stepping into new realities of abundance. One morning, as sunlight streamed through her window, she noticed something extraordinary. The doorway she had painted the previous evening seemed to shimmer with an otherworldly glow. As she approached, drawn by an inexplicable knowing, the painted surface rippled like water. Without hesitation, she stepped through, finding herself in the exact scene she had imagined while painting. This miracle reveals a fundamental truth. Imagination shapes the invisible architecture of reality. Your thoughts and feelings are not mere fantasies. They are the blueprints from which the universe constructs your experience. When you infuse your visualizations with genuine emotion, you instruct the very atoms of existence to arrange themselves accordingly. Leroy's story further illuminates this principle. Each night he would dream vividly of abundance, not in vague terms, but with precise detail. He imagined the texture of success, the scent of opportunity, the feeling of fulfillment. Soon, his waking life began reflecting these dreams with startling accuracy. A business opportunity emerged matching his nighttime visions. A mentor appeared who spoke the exact words he had imagined. The universe was not simply responding to his wishes. It was materializing the detailed blueprint his imagination had created. The power of this law lies not in forcing outcomes, but in allowing your imagination to become a conducting rod for universal energy. When you play within your mind's eye, filling each vision with joy and gratitude, you create a magnetic field that draws corresponding experiences into physical form. Sacred practice. Find a quiet space and settle into a comfortable position. Close your eyes and bring your deepest wish into focus. Now, rather than yearning for it, see it as already complete in every detail. Feel the texture of its reality. Breathe in its presence. As you hold this vision, let genuine gratitude flow through your being for its physical manifestation already forming in the quantum field. Stay in this space of completion and appreciation for several minutes, knowing that your imagination is already instructing the universe in the art of making dreams tangible. Chapter 12. The Spectrum of Allowing. Your thoughts and feelings are not mere whispers in the void. They are the architects of tomorrow's reality. When you understand this power, you begin to see how imagination shapes the very fabric of existence. In a small apartment overlooking bustling city streets, Ida sat at her desk, surrounded by crumpled papers filled with crossed-out affirmations. Each morning she would write her desires, only to second-guess every word. "I am successful" became "I am becoming successful," then morphed into "I allow success to find me," before being discarded entirely. With each revision, her energy scattered like leaves in autumn wind, her intention dissolving into a fog of uncertainty. The universe responds not to perfect words, but to clear signals. When you fragment your focus through endless editing, you create interference in your own broadcast. Your power lies not in crafting flawless phrases, but in maintaining unwavering faith in the wisdom of universal timing. Amos understood this truth through an unexpected chain of events. His cherished timepiece, a gift from his grandfather, had stopped working one morning. Rather than rushing to fix it, he chose to move through his day without measuring each moment. As he wandered the city, guided only by intuition, he found himself drawn to a small cafe he had never noticed before. There, at precisely the right moment, though he had no way of knowing the time, he met the love of his life. Had his watch been working, he would have been across town in a scheduled meeting. Instead, by surrendering to the flow of life, he aligned perfectly with destiny's plan. Your path unfolds with divine precision when you release the need to control every detail. The universe operates through an intelligence far greater than human planning. Your role is not to orchestrate, but to align, not to direct, but to allow. Each time you resist the natural flow of life, you create ripples of discord in your energetic field. But when you trust in the perfect timing of all things, you enter a state of magnetic allowance where miracles unfold effortlessly. Ancient practice of surrender. Find a quiet moment and settle into a comfortable position. Take 3 deep breaths, releasing tension with each exhale. Now bring to mind something you've been trying to control or perfect. Feel the weight of that effort in your body. With your next breath, consciously release that weight, whispering to yourself, "I trust in the perfect timing of all things." Allow your shoulders to soften and your jaw to relax. Feel the gentle pulse of universal intelligence orchestrating everything for your highest good, right here, right now. Remain in this space of trust for several minutes, knowing that excellence is unfolding for you in ways beyond your imagination. Chapter 13. The Invisible Bridge. In a garden filled with morning mist, Ruth stands before her easel, paintbrush suspended in air. Her vision of becoming a renowned artist feels both impossibly distant and tantalizingly near. The canvas before her remains blank, yet in her mind's eye she sees exhibitions filled with her work, collectors admiring her paintings, and students seeking her guidance. This space between what is and what could be forms the most sacred territory in the art of manifestation. It is here, in this pregnant pause between dream and materialization, that the true alchemy of creation unfolds. The law of vibration teaches that everything existing in physical form first took shape in the invisible realm. Your task is not to build bridges between reality and dreams through physical effort alone, but to recognize that the bridge already exists in the quantum field, awaiting your confident steps across it. Calvin, a humble music teacher, discovered this truth when facing an empty concert hall 1 week before his students' recital. Instead of worrying about ticket sales, he began thanking the universe for the full house of supportive attendees he knew would arrive. Each morning, He walked the empty aisles, expressing gratitude for every occupied seat, as though the performance had already concluded triumphantly. He felt the joy of proud parents, heard the applause, and celebrated the success that existed in potential. When the evening of the recital arrived, extra chairs needed to be brought in to accommodate unexpected attendees. The bridge Calvin built through unwavering faith had manifested in physical form. Your desires exist now in the realm of pure potential. The gap you perceive between where you stand and where you wish to be is an illusion created by time-bound thinking. In truth, every possible reality exists simultaneously. Your role is not to make things happen, but to align your vibration with the version of reality you choose to experience. Faith becomes the invisible architecture spanning the perceived void between desire and manifestation. Each moment of absolute knowing, each feeling of gratitude for what appears yet unseen, forms another plank in this bridge of consciousness. The ancient practice of present gratitude. Find a quiet moment and settle into a comfortable position. Close your eyes and bring your desired reality into focus. Now, shift your perception as though you stand already in that fulfilled reality. Feel the solid ground beneath your feet on the other side of your bridge of faith. Let a smile form naturally on your lips as you acknowledge the completion of your journey. Whisper your gratitude for this manifestation as though it has already occurred. Remain in this space of knowing for several minutes, allowing the feeling to saturate every cell of your being. This is not imagination. It is attunement to what already exists in the eternal now. Before we get into the next chapter, you can download a free ebook version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 14. The Harmony of Contrast. In a village nestled among ancient hills, Flora tended her shop of herbal remedies with unwavering dedication. Each morning she would arrange her bottles and sachets with meticulous care, dreaming of expanding her small enterprise into something greater. Yet time after time, her carefully laid plans crumbled. Suppliers failed to deliver, customers dwindled, and her savings diminished. One particularly trying day, as she sat among her unsold remedies, a shift occurred within her heart. Like sunlight breaking through storm clouds, she realized that each setback had refined her understanding. The unreliable supplier had led her to discover local herb growers whose products proved far superior. The quiet periods in her shop had granted her time to experiment with new formulations that would later become her most sought-after remedies. Through this awakening, you begin to understand that contrast serves as the master sculptor of desire. When you encounter what you don't want, the image of what you do want emerges with crystalline clarity. Each no on your path illuminates the yes you seek with greater precision. Edwin's tale mirrors this truth with elegant simplicity. Having planned the perfect hillside picnic to propose to his beloved, he watched dark clouds gather and rain pour down upon his carefully prepared feast. As they sought shelter beneath an old oak tree, the rain washed away the dust of summer, revealing fields of wildflowers he had never noticed before. There, among nature's unexpected display, he found a setting far more enchanting than his original plan. The rain had not ruined his moment. It had transformed it into something more beautiful than he could have imagined. Through this experience, Edwin discovered that what appeared as obstacles were actually stepping stones leading to greater possibilities. These stories whisper an ageless truth. Contrast is not punishment, but purification. Each experience that seems to push against your desires actually serves to clarify them. Like a sculptor's chisel, unwanted circumstances chip away at the marble of possibility, revealing the masterpiece within. The ancient practice of contrast appreciation. When circumstances appear to oppose your wishes, pause and breathe deeply. Place your hand over your heart and whisper, "Thank you for refining my vibration." Feel how each unwanted experience sharpens your focus on what you truly desire. Let each contrast become a compass, pointing you more precisely toward your chosen destination. In this acceptance lies the secret of transformation. For what you resist persists, but what you embrace reveals its hidden grace. Chapter 15. The Current of Confidence. In a bustling marketplace, a merchant displayed his wares while a young woman named Lillian watched from afar, clutching a notebook filled with innovative business plans. Her eyes sparkled with vision, yet her feet remained rooted in doubt. Each time she approached the funding office, an invisible wall of hesitation pushed her back. The universe speaks in frequencies, not words. When you align your inner tone with absolute certainty, reality has no choice but to match your signal. This eternal truth reveals itself through Lillian's journey of transformation. As she sat in her small apartment surrounded by research and projections, Lillian discovered that her greatest obstacle wasn't external validation, but internal resonance. She began to understand that confidence isn't an emotion to chase, but a frequency to embody. Like a radio tower broadcasting without interruption, certainty emanates from your core when you allow it to flow naturally. The ancient wisdom whispers, your energy precedes your reality. Before any external change can manifest, your inner frequency must first stabilize at the level of your desire. This isn't about forcing positivity or denying fears. It's about tuning your being to the natural vibration of capability that already exists within you. Morton, a craftsman from the valley, discovered this truth through direct experience. Rather than exhausting himself with endless applications and worried calculations, he first dedicated himself to cultivating the energy of absolute knowing. Each morning he would sit in his workshop, breathing in the essence of capability until it became his natural state. Within weeks, funding sources began seeking him out, drawn by the unwavering signal of his certainty. His story illuminates a universal principle. When you radiate the frequency of certainty, the physical world conspires to reflect that signal back to you. The money, opportunities, and support you seek are already in motion. They simply await your energetic leadership to guide them into form. The ancient practice of certainty. Embodiment. Find a quiet space where you can sit undisturbed. Position yourself with your spine straight, as though an invisible crown rests upon your head. Let your shoulders relax while maintaining this noble posture. Begin breathing deeply, as if you were a benevolent giant whose very breath could move mountains with gentleness. With each inhale, feel capability filling every cell of your being. With each exhale, allow this energy to radiate outward in all directions, touching everything in your sphere of influence. Continue this practice until you sense your entire energy field humming with unshakable knowing. This is not an exercise in pretending. It is a remembrance of your natural state of power. Chapter 16. The Resonance of Purpose. In the heart of a bustling city, Hazel moved like a leaf in the wind, drifting from one position to another. Her resume read like a traveler's map: office assistant, store clerk, tour guide, receptionist. Each role promised fulfillment, yet left her spirit hungry for something more. The truth of purpose lies not in the outer form of action, but in the inner tone that infuses it. When you align with your natural frequency of contribution, the universe orchestrates opportunities that amplify your unique gift. This wisdom unfolds through understanding that purpose is not a destination, but a vibration you carry within. Every soul arrives with a specific resonance designed to enrich the symphony of creation. Your search for meaning ends not in finding the perfect role, but in allowing your inner music to play freely through whatever instrument life presents. This ancient knowledge reveals that purpose flows through you rather than to you. In the quiet streets of a small town, Buster discovered this truth through his daily ritual of baking bread. His hands kneaded dough while his heart poured forth songs of blessing. He didn't simply combine flour and water. He wove love into every loaf. Those who tasted his bread spoke of experiencing something beyond flavor. They tasted joy itself, nourishment that fed both body and spirit. The universe responds not to what you do, but to the energy signature you emit while doing it. When your actions carry the vibration of heartfelt service, they generate a magnetic field that draws aligned opportunities toward you. This is the hidden mechanism behind meaningful work. It's not the task itself, but the love flowing through it that creates impact. The current of purpose moves like water. It cannot be forced or contained, only channeled. Your role is not to construct purpose, but to allow it to flow through you naturally. When you release the need to find meaning, and instead become a clear channel for your inherent gifts, you discover that purpose has been expressing through you all along. What appears as random movement in your career path often reveals itself as perfect preparation, each experience tuning your instrument for fuller expression. The secret lies not in seeking purpose, but in surrendering to the unique way your spirit naturally contributes to life's unfolding. The ancient practice of purpose. Alignment. Find a quiet moment and settle into a comfortable position. Close your eyes and bring your awareness to your chest area. Begin to recall different activities from your life, both work and play. Notice which memories make your chest area feel warm and expanded. Pay particular attention to times when you felt most naturally yourself, when action flowed without effort. Let this inner glow be your compass, gently guiding you toward choices that align with your natural frequency of contribution. Trust that this warmth is your spirit's recognition of its authentic expression. Chapter 17. The Sacred Use of Words. In a small coastal town, Opal noticed a curious pattern. Each morning she chose to speak with deliberate kindness to everyone she met: the grocer, the mailman, the children playing near her garden. As weeks passed, unexpected blessings began flowing into her life. A forgotten inheritance surfaced, opportunities emerged, and her small business flourished without effort. Your words carry power beyond their meaning. Each syllable you utter sends ripples through the quantum field, creating templates for future experience. Like musical notes played upon the instrument of reality, your speech generates vibrations that echo through the corridors of manifestation. This wisdom has been whispered through ages. The tongue holds the power of life and death, not through mystical enchantment, but through the precise mechanics of frequency. Every word you speak acts as a tuning fork, adjusting the resonance of your electromagnetic field and instructing the universe how to arrange itself around you. Henry discovered this truth through an unexpected lesson. Known for his quick wit and amusing observations about others, he enjoyed sharing light gossip at the local cafe. Though never malicious, his words carried an undertone of judgment. Gradually, he noticed his business dealings becoming complicated, relationships growing distant, and opportunities dissolving before materialization. The connection between word and experience reveals itself in subtle ways. Speech that diminishes others, even in jest, creates a frequency of reduction that reflects back through all areas of life. Conversely, words that uplift and appreciate generate an expansive field that attracts abundance. Your mouth serves as a sacred instrument, each word a note in the symphony of your creation. When you speak with conscious awareness, choosing words that resonate with love and prosperity, you tune your personal frequency to attract similar vibrations. This is not about artificial positivity, but about genuine alignment with the creative power of sound. Speaking is an act of creation. Each word plants a seed in the fertile soil of possibility. By maintaining awareness of your verbal vibration, you become a more precise conductor of your life's music. The universe doesn't judge your words as good or bad. It simply matches their frequency with mathematical precision. The ancient practice of vibrational speech. Before words leave your lips, pause for a breath's length. Feel the vibration of what you're about to say. Does it taste like kindness on your tongue? Does it carry the frequency of what you wish to cultivate? Let each phrase rest in your mouth until it aligns with the reality you desire to create. In this sacred pause, you become conscious of your power to shape experience through the instrument of speech. Chapter 18. The Circle of Receiving. In the heart of an ancient village there lived a healer named Irene, whose herbs and remedies brought comfort to all who sought her aid. From dawn until dusk she tended to those in need, her gentle voice offering solace alongside her medicines. Yet when others attempted to repay her kindness, be it with food, blankets, or simple assistance, she would turn away their offerings with a practiced smile. "I require nothing in return," she would say, pride hidden beneath her humility. "My work is my gift to the world." Yet as seasons passed, her energy began to dim like a candle burning only at one end. The universal flow of abundance requires both giving and receiving, for in this sacred dance, energy must circulate freely to maintain its power. In the same village dwelled Wallace, a craftsman who had long struggled to sustain his woodworking business. One morning, his elderly neighbor appeared at his door with a steaming pot of soup. His first instinct was to decline. He had always managed alone. But something in her eyes made him pause. "Thank you," he said simply, accepting the bowl with open hands. That small act of receiving shifted something in the fabric of his reality. Within days, word of his craftsmanship spread beyond the village. Orders flowed in like a spring tide, each client bringing not just work, but appreciation, connection, and prosperity. The law of circulation teaches that abundance flows like water. It must both pour forth and be replenished. When you block its natural rhythm by refusing to receive, You create a dam in the stream of universal energy. True magnetic power emerges not from constant giving alone, but from allowing energy to flow freely in both directions. Your words hold the power to either enhance or impede this sacred circulation. When you say, "I don't need help," or "I shouldn't accept this," you speak resistance into being. But when you open yourself to receiving with grace, you complete the circuit of abundance, allowing energy to flow unimpeded through your life. Sacred practice. Find a quiet moment and settle into stillness. As you breathe deeply, whisper these words with gentle acceptance. I allow generosity to flow both ways through me. Let this truth settle into your bones. Each time someone offers a gift, compliment, or assistance, repeat this phrase silently, feeling the warm current of abundance moving freely through your being. Chapter 19. The Memory of Light. In the quietude of her garden, a woman named Beatrice sat among withering roses, her heart heavy with present worries. As the evening breeze rustled through, it carried with it the distant sound of children's laughter, and in that moment something remarkable occurred. The sound transported her instantly to a summer afternoon from her youth, when she danced through sprinklers with uncontained delight. As this memory washed over her, she felt her entire being lift, as though the joy from decades past had never truly left. The universe operates not in linear time, but in vibrational frequencies. When you access a memory of pure joy, you are not merely remembering, you are actively tuning into that exact frequency once more. Your cells recognize no difference between past and present elation. They respond only to the energy you emit now. Watch how your entire field transforms when you allow yourself to fully inhabit a moment of past happiness. The quantum realm knows no calendar. It knows only the tone of your current vibration. By choosing to revisit moments of genuine joy, you literally reactivate that frequency in your present reality. This truth revealed itself powerfully to Ernest, who had lost his beloved wife after 40 years of marriage. Grief had settled heavily in his bones until one afternoon, when he found himself recalling their first dance. As the memory of their shared laughter flooded back, he felt an immediate physical lightness overtake him. Within days, his chronic pain began to ease, and unexpected blessings started appearing in his life. Ernest had unknowingly demonstrated that emotional frequencies transcend time. His remembrance wasn't mere nostalgia, it was active frequency calibration. When you tune into past joy, you're not reaching backward. You're broadcasting that same vibration outward into your now. Your memories are not locked in the past. They are living frequencies waiting to be reactivated. Each recollection of happiness, wonder, or triumph carries the exact energetic signature of its original moment. By consciously choosing to revisit these golden memories, you're not reminiscing. You're reconstructing that precise magnetic field in your present reality. The ancient practice of memory alchemy. Find a quiet space and close your eyes. Journey back to one moment of pure, unbridled joy, perhaps from childhood or a time when life felt magical. Don't simply recall it. Step fully into that memory. Feel the sensations in your body, the lightness in your heart, the smile that naturally forms. Let this feeling expand until it fills your entire being. Hold this vibration for several minutes, knowing that this frequency is as alive and powerful now as it was then. Your present reality has no choice but to begin matching this rediscovered tone. Chapter 20. The Portal of Appreciation. As the frequency of remembered joy carries through time, so too does the power of present moment appreciation create ripples across dimensions. This truth unveiled itself to Vera one morning as she paused before a single white lily in her window. Rather than hurrying past as usual, she allowed herself to truly see the flower, its delicate petals unfurling like cosmic dancers, the subtle gradients of color that painted its depths, the perfect mathematical precision of its form. In that moment of pure attention, something extraordinary occurred. The more deeply she gazed at the lily, the more its beauty seemed to expand, as though each petal contained universes. Her consciousness began to shift and expand with it. The boundary between observer and observed grew thin, until Vera felt herself participating in the flower's expression of life itself. In this state of wonder, solutions to long-standing problems suddenly appeared with crystal clarity, and opportunities she had been seeking materialized with surprising ease. This mirrors the ancient wisdom. What you appreciate, appreciates. The frequency of genuine wonder opens channels through which abundance flows naturally. When you dissolve into pure appreciation, you align with the creative force that manifests all things. Amos discovered this same principle through his relationship with sunsets. For years he had rushed through his evenings, barely glancing at the sky's nightly transformation. But one day, feeling inexplicably moved, he stopped to applaud the sun's descent. This simple act sparked something within him, a childlike delight in nature's daily gift. He made it his practice to honor each sunset, sometimes even calling out, "Bravo!" as the final rays painted the clouds. As he cultivated this habit of appreciation, remarkable changes began occurring in his life. His mind grew sharper, his energy more vibrant. Opportunities appeared as if orchestrated by an unseen hand. The very act of celebrating beauty had shifted his magnetic field into deeper alignment with life's natural abundance. Your appreciation holds the same transformative power. When you pause to truly witness the miracle in ordinary things, you activate a frequency that attracts more to appreciate. This is not mere positive thinking. It is the physics of consciousness itself. Ancient practice of wonder. Choose one object in your immediate surroundings. It might be a leaf, a cup, or even a grain of salt. Give it your complete, unhurried attention. Notice its texture, its play of light and shadow, its unique presence. Allow yourself to marvel at its existence until you begin to sense the boundary between you and it softening, melting into pure appreciation. Rest in this state of wonder for several minutes, feeling the frequency of beauty fill your being. Part 3. The Embodiment of Infinity. Chapter 21. The Radiance of Integrity. In the heart of a bustling marketplace, a merchant's daughter arranged her wares each morning, setting out vibrant fabrics and gleaming trinkets. Her name was Elsie, and though coins flowed freely into her purse, an emptiness echoed through her achievements. Success felt hollow, like a beautifully painted vessel with nothing inside. The turning point arrived when an elderly woman approached her stall, holding up a length of silk Elsie had promised to set aside. In the rush of commerce, she had sold it to another. The disappointment in the woman's eyes pierced deeper than any loss of profit. That evening, as Elsie reflected on her day, wisdom whispered an ancient truth. Your word shapes your world. Each promise kept or broken sends ripples through the fabric of creation. The universe mirrors back the frequency of your integrity. When you align your actions with your intentions, you create a stable field of energy around you. This harmonic resonance attracts desires naturally, for they recognize in you a trustworthy vessel. Your desires must trust you as much as you trust in them. Norman, a wandering musician, discovered this truth when a single lie began to tangle his fortunes. He had claimed to write a song that belonged to another, and though none knew his secret, the music in his life grew discordant. His instruments fell out of tune more easily, opportunities slipped away, and his once clear voice seemed to strain. One night, overcome by the weight of untruth, Norman stood before his fellow musicians and admitted his deception. Though he feared judgment, something extraordinary occurred. The very act of speaking truth cleared the static from his energy field. That week, his music flowed with renewed power, and a patron offered him a position he had long dreamed of. The law of integrity operates with mathematical precision. Each truth told strengthens your connection to the creative force of the universe. Each promise kept builds a bridge between intention and manifestation. When you honor your word, you honor the sacred contract between consciousness and creation. You need not undertake grand gestures to begin this realignment. Start with the smallest truth, the tiniest promise kept. Notice how your energy shifts when you bring your actions into perfect harmony with your intentions. Feel how your breath deepens, your shoulders relax, your thoughts clear. The universe responds not to what you say you will do, but to the resonance between your words and actions. When these align, you become a pure channel for manifestation. Your desires recognize in you a steady frequency they can trust, and they begin to seek you out naturally. Ancient practice of energetic alignment. Find a quiet moment and settle into stillness. Bring to mind any small misalignment between your words and actions, any tiny promise left unfulfilled. Without judgment, simply hold this awareness in your heart. Visualize this misalignment dissolving like mist in morning sunlight. Feel your breath growing lighter with each exhalation until your energy field clears completely. Let this lightness guide you toward restoration. Chapter 22. The Quantum of Kindness. A gentle breeze carried the scent of jasmine as Ruby hurried down the cobblestone path, her arms laden with groceries. Ahead, an elderly woman struggled with several heavy bags, her steps unsteady on the uneven ground. Without hesitation, Ruby set down her own parcels and stepped forward to assist. "Let me help you with those," she offered, taking the heaviest bags. Together they walked 3 blocks to the woman's home, sharing stories and laughter along the way. As Ruby turned to leave, the woman pressed a small wooden box into her hands. "This belonged to my grandmother," she said. "Something tells me you should have it." Inside the box lay an ancient key with a note. "What opens for others opens for you." That very afternoon, Ruby received an unexpected call offering her the position she had dreamed of, but never applied for. The universe had witnessed her kindness and responded in kind. The magnetic power of love flows through every gesture of compassion. When you extend yourself in service to others, you activate the highest frequency known to creation. This vibration travels instantly through the quantum field, rearranging particles of possibility into paths of grace. Your loving actions send ripples through dimensions beyond sight. Each kind word, each moment of assistance, each pulse of genuine care strengthens the electromagnetic field of your heart. This enhanced field draws to you experiences that match its expanded capacity for receiving. Consider the tale of Floyd, who discovered 4 abandoned kittens behind his workshop. Though his resources were limited, he took them in without question, nursing them back to health. Within days, synchronicities began appearing in his life. A chance meeting at the veterinary clinic led to a coffee date. Another arose at the pet store while buying supplies. By week's end, 3 potential partners had entered his life, each one drawn to his nurturing spirit. The universe operates through mathematical precision. Every outward expression of love multiplies your magnetic power exponentially. Each act of kindness sends a signal through the field, announcing your readiness to receive greater blessings. The law is unwavering. What you extend to others must return to you, enhanced by the infinite. When you choose love over indifference, assistance over apathy, you tune your personal frequency to the highest octave of creation. This elevated vibration naturally attracts circumstances, relationships, and opportunities that resonate with its refined nature. The ancient practice of love. Radiation. Find a quiet moment and settle into a comfortable position. Close your eyes and bring to mind each person who crosses your thoughts. With each face that appears, send a silent pulse of pure goodwill, a wordless blessing of light and love. Feel this energy emanating from your heart center like ripples on a pond. Continue this practice for several minutes, knowing that each wave of loving intention strengthens your own magnetic field and elevates your capacity to receive life's finest gifts. Chapter 23. The Light of Detachment. The essence of kindness ripples through the quantum field with unimaginable power. When Ruby extended her hand to help, she activated a frequency of pure love that instantly began restructuring the atomic fabric around her. Within days, opportunities she had long awaited materialized effortlessly. This divine principle reveals itself again and again through the ages. Acts of kindness, however small, create waves of harmonious energy that magnetize miraculous synchronicities. Each compassionate gesture sends forth golden threads that weave new possibilities into the tapestry of existence. Yet the deeper mystery lies in understanding that kindness itself is not a doing, but a frequency of being. When you align with this frequency, you touch the very heart of universal abundance. Consider Mabel, who sat rigidly by her phone, anxiety mounting as she waited for crucial news. Her constant checking and worrying created a dense field of resistance that actually repelled what she sought. The more desperately she refreshed her screen, the more the universe withdrew. It was only when she remembered to breathe and redirect her attention to helping at the local shelter that everything shifted. By losing herself in service to others, she unknowingly aligned with the frequency of allowing. Her tight grip on outcomes loosened, and the news she awaited arrived naturally, like autumn leaves falling in their perfect time. Percy's tale mirrors this truth. For weeks he obsessed over an important email, checking constantly, his stomach in knots. The breakthrough came when he chose to release his attachment and instead focused on brightening others' days with small acts of kindness. That very evening, the long-awaited message appeared. These stories illuminate the quantum nature of compassion. When you extend kindness without agenda, you activate a love frequency that dissolves barriers between you and your desires. This is not strategy, but surrender to the highest vibration in existence. The universe responds not to what you do, but to who you become. When your heart beats in rhythm with unconditional giving, you enter a state of magical allowing. Your energy field expands exponentially, drawing to you experiences that match your elevated frequency. This is the paradox of spiritual magnetism. The less you grasp, the more abundantly life flows. By releasing the need to control outcomes and instead radiating genuine care for others, you align with the ultimate creative force. Sacred practice. Find a quiet moment and settle into a comfortable position. Bring to mind something you deeply desire. Now, with infinite tenderness, smile at this wish as you would at a beloved child. Feel your love for it expanding until your heart overflows with warmth. Then, with complete trust, imagine releasing it like a bright balloon into the infinite sky. Watch it drift peacefully upward, carried on currents of divine timing. Rest in the knowing that what is truly yours will always find its way home. Chapter 24. The Silence Between. In a bustling town where traffic and commerce never ceased, there lived a woman named Rosie who filled every moment with sound. From dawn until dusk, she kept the television humming, music playing, or phone conversations flowing. The noise acted as a shield, protecting her from an emptiness she dared not face. Each evening, Rosie surrounded herself with the familiar comfort of constant activity, until one night, when a power outage plunged her home into unexpected silence. At first, the quietness felt like an unwelcome intruder. Yet as minutes passed, something extraordinary began to unfold. In that sacred stillness, Rosie discovered a voice she had never noticed before. Not an audible sound, but a gentle knowing that arose from deep within. The universe, which had been patiently waiting to speak, finally found its opening. Through the language of intuition, crystal clear guidance emerged about decisions that had long troubled her. This truth echoes across time. When we quiet the outer world, we activate our connection to infinite intelligence. The subtle frequency of wisdom becomes audible only when we cease drowning it out with artificial noise. Your inner compass has always pointed true, but its delicate signal requires the courage to embrace silence. Solomon, a merchant who had spent decades pursuing the secret to lasting prosperity, learned this same principle through his own journey. For years he traveled far and wide, consulting experts and studying ancient texts. Yet the answer he sought remained elusive until one morning, when he chose to sit in perfect stillness before opening his shop. In that moment of inner quiet, the solution appeared with stunning clarity, not as words, but as a profound understanding that seemed to flow directly from the heart of creation. The prosperity he had chased externally had always resided within, waiting to be heard in the silence. These experiences illuminate an eternal truth. The universe speaks constantly in the language of silence. Every answer you seek already exists in the space between thoughts. When you release the need for constant stimulation, you open yourself to receive the whispered guidance of infinite intelligence. Your mind, like a lake, reflects truth most clearly when undisturbed by ripples of unnecessary noise. In stillness, wisdom flows naturally, bringing solutions that no amount of external searching could reveal. The quiet moments are not empty. They are filled with the presence of divine instruction, waiting to be received. Practice. Find a comfortable position and gently close your eyes. Allow your attention to settle beneath the surface of passing thoughts. Notice the peaceful hum of existence itself, not as a sound, but as a subtle vibration of being. Rest in this soundless comfort for several minutes, knowing that in this space you are in direct communion with the source of all wisdom. Let this silent sanctuary become your daily refuge, where divine guidance naturally emerges. Chapter 25. The Frequency of Forgiveness. A merchant carried precious gems across the desert each season, guarded by those he trusted most. One autumn journey, his closest companion vanished with the most valuable stones, leaving nothing but footprints in the sand. In that moment of discovery, the weight of betrayal crystallized into a darkness heavier than any gem. You see, when trust shatters, it creates an energetic prison. The walls of this prison are built not by the one who wounded you, but by your own grip on the pain. This ancient truth reveals itself through the experience of Agnes, whose light dimmed with each passing day. She held on to the memory of deception. Agnes moved through life carrying betrayal like a shield, her thoughts constantly returning to the colleague who had taken credit for her work and earned the promotion she had spent years pursuing. With each remembered slight, her energy grew more dense, her creativity more muted, her relationships more guarded. The very voltage that once powered her brilliance now served only to maintain the walls of her resentment. The universe speaks in patterns, and Agnes began noticing how her resources had slowed to a trickle, how opportunities seemed to pass her by, how even her garden withered despite dutiful care. Her energy field had become so consumed with maintaining grievance that it could no longer conduct the current of abundance. Then came the teaching that would transform everything. Forgiveness is not about pardoning the unpardonable or declaring wrong as right. It is the conscious release of your own power from the grip of past pain. It is the recognition that holding resentment is like drinking poison while waiting for another to fall ill. This wisdom finds its mirror in Wendell's tale. After years of competing for clients, Wendell's business rival had spread rumors that nearly destroyed his reputation. The bitterness Wendell carried manifested as constant setbacks, until one morning he realized his own resistance had become the greatest obstacle to his success. In a moment of clarity, Wendell released his rival to the universe's care. He did not condone the actions, but he refused to let them occupy his energy field any longer. Within days, new clients appeared, unexpected opportunities emerged, and resources flowed as if a dam had broken. The law works this way. When you liberate your energy from maintaining old wounds, you free up the very voltage needed to magnetize your desires. Your signal becomes clear again, unobstructed by the static of stored pain. This ancient practice is simple, yet powerful. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and bring to mind the person whose actions have wounded you. Imagine them surrounded by pure light, not to excuse their actions, but to release your energy from the story. Then, with quiet intention, speak these words internally. I release you to your own good. Feel the subtle shift as your power returns to its natural state of flow. You need not maintain contact or trust unwisely again. You are simply choosing to stop allowing past events to diminish your present power. In this release, you reclaim the full voltage of your creative force. Chapter 26. The Symphony of Trust. The merchant's tale echoes through time, leading us to a deeper understanding of how energetic resistance shapes our reality. This wisdom found new life through Eloise, whose story unveils the hidden mechanics of trust and manifestation. Eloise stood before her vision board each morning, her heart oscillating between fervent hope and gnawing doubt. She had mastered the art of affirmations, yet her desires seemed to dance just beyond reach. Like discordant notes clashing in a symphony, her mixed frequencies created interference patterns in the quantum field. The universe responds not to words alone, but to the unwavering signal of pure trust. When Eloise finally understood this, she ceased her constant checking and questioning. Instead of frantically pursuing her goals, she began to rest in the certainty of divine timing. As she released her grip on outcomes, the very fabric of her reality began to shift. In the valleys of commerce, Clyde demonstrated this principle with remarkable clarity. As economic storms gathered, his colleagues succumbed to panic. Yet Clyde maintained an unshakable calm, leading his team with steady optimism. He understood that fear and trust could not occupy the same frequency. "We align with excellence," he would say, his voice carrying the weight of certainty. While others frantically revised forecasts, Clyde's team moved with purposeful grace. Within months, their division flourished, outperforming all projections. Success had followed the frequency of his confidence like iron filings arranging themselves around a magnet. The law of vibration teaches that trust operates as a sustained note in the symphony of creation. When you maintain unwavering faith in the perfection of universal timing, you emit a clear signal that the quantum field must answer. Doubt creates static in this broadcast, while trust amplifies its power. Think of trust as the tuning fork of reality. When struck, it produces a pure tone that reality itself must match. This is not blind faith, but rather an alignment with the underlying intelligence of the universe. Just as a piano string must be properly tensioned to produce its true note, your energy field must be calibrated to emit the frequency of absolute knowing. The practice. Find a quiet space and settle into stillness. Begin to hum softly, allowing the sound to arise from your center of contentment. Feel the vibration spread through your rib cage, down through the floor, and out into the foundation of your being. Let this tone carry the frequency of complete trust in divine orchestration. Continue until you sense the hum has synchronized your entire energy field with the rhythm of universal timing. Chapter 27. The Diamond Heart. In the silence of an autumn morning, you may discover what Louisa learned through her journey of transformation. Each day she fortified herself against vulnerability, believing that an impenetrable wall would attract success and abundance. She crafted careful responses, maintained rigid control, and refused to let anyone glimpse her true feelings. Yet the universe operates through transparency, not resistance. When your heart remains guarded, you create energetic barriers that prevent the natural flow of manifestation. Like a crystal that must be clear to refract light in all its splendor, your being must remain open to channel the infinite possibilities that surround you. Louisa's awakening came during a presentation when her voice cracked with emotion. Instead of hiding this moment of tenderness, she allowed it to exist. In that instant of surrender, the entire room shifted. Her authenticity created a magnetic field that drew others closer, opening pathways that her previous armor had blocked. The wisdom of vulnerability echoes through Raymond's experience in the artist's commune. For years, he painted with technical precision, but felt his work lacked soul. One day, overwhelmed by grief, he allowed his tears to merge with the watercolors. The resulting piece sparked a bidding war at the gallery, not for its perfection, but for its raw truth. Your power lies not in fortification, but in transparency. When you release the need to appear invulnerable, you align with the crystalline nature of creation itself. Like pure quartz channeling light, your openness becomes a conduit for universal energy. This is not weakness, but the highest form of strength, the courage to be seen in your complete authenticity. The magnetic force of vulnerability operates through emotional honesty. When you allow yourself to be transparent, you emit a frequency of truth that the universe must match. Your willingness to be seen creates an energetic invitation for genuine abundance to flow through you. Remember that the most powerful crystals are those without impurity or obstruction. Similarly, your manifesting potential reaches its peak when you release the shields and allows your true essence to shine through. Sacred practice. Find a quiet space and place your hand gently over your heart. Imagine your chest as pure crystal, perfectly clear and luminous. With each breath, feel this crystalline center growing more transparent, allowing love to flow both inward and outward without resistance. Maintain this connection for several minutes, knowing that your vulnerability is your strength, your openness is your power, and your transparency is the very channel through which abundance flows. Chapter 28. The Infinite Return. In a modest apartment overlooking a city street, an unfolding miracle caught your attention. Nancy, who once rushed past life's subtle whispers, discovered the magnetic power of celebration. Each morning, she began acknowledging the smallest gifts, the perfect temperature of her tea, the synchronicity of catching the bus just as it arrived, the unexpected smile from a stranger. At first, these moments seemed insignificant. Yet, as Nancy honored each one with genuine appreciation, a remarkable pattern emerged. The universe, like an attentive friend, began offering more experiences worthy of celebration. A promotion materialized shortly after she celebrated helping a colleague. An ideal apartment became available just as she expressed gratitude for her current home's lessons. The universal law reveals itself. What you celebrate multiplies. Your appreciation acts as a signal, broadcasting to the field that you are ready to receive more of what you value. This is not mere coincidence, but the natural operation of energy responding to energy. Consider how Clarence transformed his reality through this same principle. He began noting coincidences in a small notebook, the friend who called just as he thought of them, the book that fell open to exactly the passage he needed, the chance encounter that led to an opportunity. With each recorded synchronicity, more began to appear. Soon his days overflowed with meaningful connections that others might dismiss as chance. The field of creation delights in being noticed. Like a master artist whose work is truly seen, the universe responds to appreciation with greater artistry. Your recognition of life's orchestration invites more elaborate arrangements of circumstances and possibilities. This is not about forcing gratitude or manufacturing false positivity. Instead, it calls for genuine wonder at the intricate dance of existence. When you authentically celebrate the small miracles, you tune your frequency to notice the larger ones waiting to emerge. The law operates with mathematical precision. Appreciation compounds appreciation. Each moment of recognition creates a ripple that returns multiplied. Your celebration becomes a magnetic force, drawing more experiences that match its frequency. Think of reality as an infinite mirror, reflecting back the energy you project. When you emanate the joy of celebration, the mirror cannot help but show you more reasons to celebrate. This is not manifestation through effort, but through resonance. Sacred practice. Let your awareness rest in gentle celebration of this moment. Notice the miracle of your breath, the symphony of sounds around you, the perfect orchestration that brought you to these words. Allow appreciation to rise naturally without forcing it. Feel how this subtle shift in attention already begins attracting more moments worthy of celebration. Continue this quiet applause for existence itself, knowing that your recognition of life's beauty ensures its multiplication. The universe celebrates through your consciousness. Let it flow. Chapter 29. The Kingdom Within. In a mountain sanctuary revered by spiritual seekers, Phoebe knelt before yet another teacher, her knees aching from countless pilgrimages. For years, she had traversed continents, gathering wisdom from celebrated mystics and ancient traditions. Each master offered profound insights, yet something felt incomplete. One dawn, as she prepared for another journey, Phoebe paused before her mirror. In that moment of stillness, a profound understanding washed over her. The reflection showed not just her physical form, but the temple she had always carried within. Every external teacher had merely awakened what already existed in the chambers of her own heart. The universe speaks through many voices, but the deepest wisdom resonates from within. Like a flower containing the blueprint of its own blossoming, your consciousness holds the keys to all transformation. External guides serve as mirrors, reflecting back your innate knowing until you recognize its familiar light. Gilbert, a renowned musician, discovered this truth when seeking approval for his compositions. For decades, he had relied on critics and mentors to validate his work. One evening, sitting alone at his piano, he chose to trust the quiet voice that had always whispered beneath the noise of others' opinions. His subsequent creation became his most acclaimed piece, not because others praised it, but because it emerged from pure authenticity. Your journey toward mastery is not about accumulating external knowledge, but remembering your inherent wisdom. The power you seek has never left you. It simply waits for recognition. Every master you admire stands as a reminder of your own potential. Every teaching points back to your inner sanctuary. When you align with this truth, synchronicity flows naturally. Guidance appears precisely when needed. But now you recognize it as your own higher self, speaking through the circumstances of life. The universe orchestrates these moments not to direct you, but to remind you of your own knowing. Your consciousness is the temple where all wisdom resides. External teachers serve their purpose, but true mastery awakens when you claim your spiritual sovereignty. In the silence of your own presence lies the answer to every question, the solution to every challenge, the path to every dream. Ancient practice of inner sovereignty. Find a quiet space and settle into a comfortable position. Close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths, each one drawing you deeper into your center. Feel the natural dignity of your posture as you breathe into your solar plexus. Allow a sense of regal calm to rise from within, like a golden crown of light expanding from your core. Rest in this sovereignty for several minutes, recognizing that all wisdom flows from this sacred inner temple. Chapter 30. The Ever-Expanding Now. A merchant walked the dusty streets, her baskets filled with vibrant silks and gleaming trinkets. Each morning Winnie arranged her wares with meticulous care, dreaming of the day her fortunes would change. "When I have saved enough," she would whisper, "then my life will truly begin." The hours passed slowly as she wove elaborate visions of future prosperity. In her mind's eye, she saw herself in fine garments, living in a grand house, surrounded by admiring friends. Yet as each sunset painted the marketplace in gold, Winnie felt no closer to her imagined paradise. Until one remarkable evening, when an old woman paused before her stall. Instead of examining the merchandise, she studied Winnie's face with knowing eyes. "You live in tomorrow," the woman observed, "while creation happens only in this breath." These words penetrated Winnie's heart like summer rain on parched earth. She realized how she had been placing her joy always ahead, just out of reach, while the present moment, the only moment where manifestation occurs, slipped by unappreciated. In the marketplace across town, Lionel sold simple clay pots. Unlike Winnie, he had discovered a profound secret. Though his circumstances remained modest, Lionel chose to savor each interaction, each sale, each smile exchanged with passing strangers. He infused the present with such genuine delight that customers lingered at his stall, drawn by an inexplicable radiance. Soon, opportunities began flowing to Lionel effortlessly. A wealthy merchant commissioned special orders. A traveling artisan taught him rare glazing techniques. His pottery gained renown not through anxious planning, but through his ability to pour joy into each moment. The universe responds not to future intentions, but to present vibration. When you place your happiness in some distant tomorrow, you tell the field of infinite possibility that fulfillment exists only there, not here, not now. But when you choose to radiate wonder in this instant, you activate creation's most potent power. Your creative edge is always this breath, this heartbeat, this precise point, where eternity touches time. The past exists as memory, the future as imagination, but only now holds the power to transform energy into matter, dreams into reality. Sacred practice. Settle into this exact moment. Let your breath slow until you feel the quiet miracle of being alive. Notice the air touching your skin, the steady rhythm of your heart, the infinite potential swimming in this single instant. Allow wonder to well up naturally as you recognize that all of creation is happening right here, right now. Stay with this feeling until the present moment becomes so rich and full that no imagined future could possibly compete with its magic. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I created a free ebook version for you. You can download it using the link in the pinned comment. Conclusion. The mysteries you have uncovered through these ancient teachings now rest within your heart like seeds of light. You have learned that the invincibility frequency dwells not in some distant realm, but in the quiet sanctuary of your own being. It pulses beneath every breath, every heartbeat, a divine orchestra awaiting your conscious participation. Through each lesson, you have remembered what your soul has always known, that emotion shapes the quantum field, that faith crystallizes possibility into form, and that joy acts as the supreme magnetic force of the universe. The music you emanate through your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs creates the symphony that reality must echo. When you align with love's frequency, when you vibrate with unwavering purpose, when you radiate the calm confidence of one who knows their divine nature, the universe has no choice but to respond in kind. Your desires naturally gravitate toward you, drawn by the gravitational force of your coherent energy field. This wisdom comes with sacred responsibility. Let your frequency serve only to uplift, to heal, to harmonize. Each moment spent in genuine gratitude ripples outward, strengthening the web of consciousness that connects all beings. You have become a living transmission tower of divine resonance, broadcasting the signal of infinite potential into the collective field. Remember, peace attracts all things, because peace is the natural state of the universe. When you embody this truth, when you allow yourself to simply be the frequency of love and trust, manifestation becomes as natural as breathing. You need not force or struggle. Simply maintain your tone of serene certainty, knowing that all good things already orbit within your energetic sphere. You are now the living proof that inner harmony creates outer abundance. Use this power wisely, with compassion for all.
If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.